Hello all, this is Patrick with Recreational Electrical, and this is a brand new 2016 Ford Expedition that we have built up for Poudre Fire Authority. Now, this thing's got quite a bit of electronics in it and a lot of really neat features that I'm going to take you on a tour of and show you what our capabilities are and how much we can do for you. To start with, you can see we have a front light stick. This light stick runs red and blue. When they're in drive, it'll also run red, white, blue, white, and then when they go into a flood mode, the full light stick will go into a white flood, as well as the light bar. The light bar does the exact same thing. And here we have a full extension, 1,000-pound capacity, custom tray. Now we did all the metal work on top. The slide itself is from a company called On Scene Solutions. I like On Scene because it's a real nice aluminum slide. It slides real nice, and it has a real nice handle here, so when you're wearing gloves and stuff you can get in. It also locks out, that's pretty important. And then in halfway, locks halfway, and of course it locks all the way in. Remote mounted and outlet, and this is attached to a pure sine wave inverter that is underneath the seat up front, which I'll show you here in a bit. It controls, of course, all the outlets. That inverter is also has built-in transfer switch, so when we plug into shore, all the outlets that we have remote mounted in this thing will go to shore power and keep charging their equipment. And as soon as they hit the key and bump the auto eject out, it'll go to invert power and everything will be on the inverter. Inside of this door, we have a door skin that we fabricated. And it's just a powder coat, a glossy black powder coat. It just bolts right into the door, and we did that so we could have some mounting surface for these lights and whatnot, because we wanted to make sure everything was mounted and the space was really wisely used. And since we were going to put this big monster cabinet in it, and they have lots of stuff to haul all over, we wanted to make sure their flashlights weren't in the way for them to haul all their other equipment. So inside of here we have the auxiliary battery. The auxiliary battery is a Lifeline gel cell battery, and when the vehicle's off, it will power everything in this rig without killing their starting battery. Likewise, if the vehicle's on, it combines with the front batteries, so it charges. When the shore power is plugged in, it charges that battery and the one up front. It's all automatic, seamless to the firefighters, so pretty neat system how that works. This cabinet was made so we could have a couple different helmets up in the top section, a battery bank charger, Motorola 6 or 8 bank battery charger down low, and we also put in the an outlet in this cabinet as well, so it's nice and easy just to plug it in and put it on the floor. This other side, is set up for a workstation for one seat. So they have a Firecom headset, and they have an armrest. The armrest doubles as a writing surface. If they put stuff on it, they don't have to worry about it kind of going forward necessarily. When you open the cabinet, it has locks to stay open, and we built this cabinet big enough to house the large metal clipboards that we see so often, so they can get quite a few of them in here, quite honestly. The outside, they have this cut in, so they don't necessarily have to open their door to see what they have inside the cabinet. It's just something so they can have their clipboards lined up, and they can have tags on them to say, oh, that is the one we need. If they had stuff on here that they could clear off and then get inside there. This is a Firecom, well, it's a custom built Firecom push button and bank switch. Basically we're using this so we can have all 6 radios that are up there, which we'll talk about in a little bit. All 6 of those radios are on 2 different banks. So you got a bank of 3 and a bank of 3, and then you can have 2 different stations talking on different radios at the same time. And they just pick the bank they want to go with, and then of course, this seat, they have to tell somebody up there, I want to be on radio B on bank 2, and then when they hit the push to talk, that radio will go through their headset. So all the headset jacks are there. We custom built this center console for the overhead. It houses all the radio speakers up top, so if they don't want to use their headsets, they still have overhead radio speakers. Another dome light, and that dome light's tied to the doors, or you can run it individually. The go light control, and then the front switch panel here is to control that command light on top. Now that's custom to us as well. This is not something Command Light sells you. We built it, tied into wiring to make that work, and then of course it goes up and down. We'll show you that here in a minute. Also below that is just a little light. When that's on, it indicates that the command light is up. So let's go up front here. Alright, in the front we have a kind of a simple DVR system, but it can have up to 4 cameras put on it. So we have this first one, which is right there. It's just a 720 def camera, and then this is just a monitor. And then there's a DVR unit right here that we can have different inputs for. Of course, we have the 2 different Firecom, and we remote mounted these, so we could have the Firecoms in the back. Up here we have the inverter control, so that will turn on and off the inverter, also show you if it's charging, if it's not charging, and of course give you indication of the battery. And of course you got, again, 2 Firecoms. The 2 Firecoms are a bank of 3 and 3. So you have bank 1 radio ABC, bank 2 radio ABC, and then you got volume switches on both those. And then you have a driver and a passenger bank switch, as well as their push to talk, and then a tone generator for, heaven forbid, a mayday call. Of course, you got all the microphones, 6 different radios. We've got 5800 and 1 VHF King, and siren and light control. Now, for the light tower on top, this is what's kind of neat. Alright, when we're just sitting here, these lights will light up. And that indicates that the command light is available for you to use. If we're out of gear, those lights shut off, and you cannot run the command light. It also pretty much e-stops it, so it's not possible for it to move up while you're driving. So if I put it back in park, those light up and say, okay, you're ready to use the command light. All we do, we'll go up and we can rotate with it. This is only a single bank and a rotate, but I also have it tied to the camera system, and we have a camera on the command light itself. So you can see what it's doing. It's automatic, it switches over, and now we can rotate this thing around and we can point it at our scene. Alright, so now we're facing that area over there. So no more do they have to really have the front end of this thing facing the scene, or they can have one in the front and one working, looking at the work places and where stuff's happening. It's kind of it's just a really neat feature. We're really happy with how it came out and how it goes together. And then of course on this they can also go to their backup camera if they wanted to, all the time. And that's the Ford factory backup camera that we tied into, so it's not an extra cost. We just tied into it because we could. So that's the top, and then they can also use the remote to switch back to the front if the command light's up and they really want the front view. But we'll go back to the command light view. Alright, now let's go take a look at how that looks out there. So there's the tower in the air. Not a real tall tower, but it doesn't really need to be for the purpose. We're just trying to get some extra floodlighting onto a scene, and this command vehicle is just capable of doing that. We also put new LED green lights on top to indicate that this is the command center. So works out really well. The lights also, so this command light that we got was pulled off of another rig that was going out of service. And it's a fairly old model, so we reconditioned it, put some new belts and stuff in it to do the rotate drive, and then also added some rigid, I want to say they're M series lights to the top for the floodlighting, and it does a really nice job. It's hard to tell, it's not that dark yet, but it does do a really nice job of flooding the scene out. I want to show you too what happens. So right now you can see that the light's on, so that means the tower's up in the air. Now if I were to pull it out of gear, I also get an alarm because our tower's up. Alright, so we take that back down and or we put it back in park so we get rid of the noise. Shut off the lights. With this also we have auto park. This isn't a standard feature with this particular model, but we were able to figure out how to make it happen, and so we added it. So right now I just hit the park once and it goes. If I hit the stop, it'll stop the light, and then we'll auto park it again. And of course while it's doing this, it's recording everything and you know, putting it into the DVR so we can have that for later if we really want it. And then after it's down, it goes back to the front view. And we're ready to cruise on down the road again. Now if I pull it out of gear, lights go off, no alarm, no nothing. Of course the go light as well. This has got a fast and a slow mode. And this is really for, you know, looking for those house addresses and whatnot. So it's a really nice spot, and you can get all the way around the vehicle with it. So pretty bright. The only other thing I'm going to show you, we're going to put the command light back in the air. Got our floodlights on. We're also going to add all of our flood lights here and the go light, so you can see that this thing is more than capable of lighting up the scene at night, if this is all that they have available. Park it. And just took it and put it in neutral, so this is the emergency response mode. You get red, blue, white across the grille, on the side fenders, as well as on the light bar itself. And it is super intense. You know, if you don't see this thing coming, when you really shouldn't be driving. Well, that's about all I think I can show you on this thing. I don't know if there's anything I've missed. Just kind of wanted to show you all of our capabilities and what our fab shop is capable of, and our electric shop. Also, with this stuff that you don't see, the back end of this, this vehicle comes with a complete as-wired diagram, and this is a true as-wired diagram. We didn't put this thing together by using installers taking wire off a rack. We actually designed a full wiring harness for it that's built in our professional harness shop. And our harness shop is a different division. We build harnesses for fire truck manufacturers, we build them for other upfitters. So it's not just a simple harness room. It has some really nice tooling, and we do a really nice job of putting them all together, making sure everything is labeled. Every wire in this thing is labeled with what it does, which helps make it NFPA compliant. And again, with all the features that this thing has on it, trying to have an installer make them all work together takes a lot of time, and probably wouldn't completely happen like it is right now, especially with the command light making that function, doing the auto park sequences. That was all built right into the harness. As far as the fab shop, everything in here was designed in a 3D CAD first, and then sent, and of course we flattened it out, put it through the CNC machines, or just hand cut. Like this rack here was all just hand cut based on a flat layout program, and then TIG welded together. It's all aluminum, and it's all really stout. Every area is seamed and welded, and the cabinets same way. The cabinets are formed, and then they're TIG welded as well to give them strength and durability. We also made sure that we used the existing bolts that are in the floor from the old seat. I'm trying to get the light on here. Anyway, we bolted this to the floor using the existing floor bolts to ensure we had the absolute sturdiest cabinet we could have. We've seen a lot of companies use wood to make cabinets like this, and this vehicle actually, the one that it's replacing, was totaled in a wreck, and the wood cabinet that they had in that one shattered, which was pretty impressive how much damage it did, and it was with a 30-mile-an-hour impact. So one of the goals with this rig was to make sure everything was super secure and super safe. So again, my name is Patrick. I am the owner of Recreational Electrical. This is one of many builds that we do. This is one of the biggest builds we've done in 2016, and has all the showcases all of our capability, and so that's why we're showing it off. So if you have any questions, please leave a comment, send us an email. If you want a vehicle built, just call us, talk to us, let us know what you're looking for, and we can help you out. Again, Patrick, Recreational Electrical, and we'll see you later.